Hey, this is Adrian Gomez with 212 Athlete. Thanks for sending these in and being a part of 212 Athlete. So let's look into this real quick. And now the left side and the right side are two different throws, and I'm going to tell you the one on the right is better than the one on the left. Just in a few ways, but this is a better angle, so I'm gonna measure from here. So right now he's about 102, so he does squat quite a bit, and that's great because the knee's inside. So power to the back leg looks pretty good. His butt makes it behind his heel, which is what we want. And his knee is actually just a tad bit in front of his toe, and that's what we want. So that's pretty good. So as he drives open, I think he puts his foot down way too early. So that power to the back leg is good, but he's putting his front leg down so early that he's not able to continue to drive through, to the point where this front leg, you can see how far his knee has to move to be able to have his hips rotate. This is a little bit evident in this one. We can measure this and see if there's any change. So there is some movement with his front knee. So the front knee, it's internally rotated, and so that's something that I want him to work on. That's a lot of velocity that he's losing out of his lower half, and that bleeds into his upper half as well. So let's get into the next one. So front leg is an issue. Let's go into posture at ball release. So I'd say his posture is what we call an A posture. It's not good, bad, or indifferent. It's just that's what his posture is, and that's where his arm slot is. So what that means is when he's down in front of this, where his chest is in front of his or his chin is in front of his chest, his belly, he's going to have to switch all the way back to this. So there's quite a bit of head movement, and what I'd like to do is minimize that head movement to be able to drive through that ball a little bit more efficiently. So we want to make sure that when he's throwing, that he starts back just a little bit further, maybe 4 or 5 inches with his head and his chest back a little bit. That's going to help him stay on that axis and rotate a little bit more evenly. His front knee is playing into that as well. Let's look at his back heel. His back heel is popping up and out. His leg stays on the ground, which is what we want, which looks pretty good. Okay, so all right, so posture ball release, his release point, I can't get that out of here, but if I was to guess right now, because his arm's so outside of his elbow, I'd like to guess it's right over the front toe or just a little bit beyond. And what we need to figure out is how far is his chest going out. And it looks like it's pretty good. But let's look at the stacking. So you can see how his chest goes down, and then he's got to come all the way up. So I'd like him to stack more evenly over where he needs to be there. Okay, so over the rubber for a longer period of time with his upper body. And I'd like him to keep the ball in his glove for a little bit longer. That's going to help him collect his energy and to stay back. So he's going to stay back that way and not forward. So stacking, his lower half's pretty good. His knees inside, the ankle, that's pretty good. But his upper body stacking needs some work. So there's a section on the website that will be stacking. I want you to do those drills and try to stay back more. And there'll be more instruction on there online. So stacking. Let's look at his front glove. Front glove actually clears really well, and this is a good example of big front glove clearing and his backside coming through. So I really like the way his front glove moves. That's fabulous. Now, let's so front glove, chest extension out here. Let's measure this real quick. We got a better view here. Take a measurement off of his elbow, and it's about 180 degrees. It might be a little bit shy of that, but we're about 3 degrees. There's not a huge problem with his elbow. A lot of guys have huge high elbows. His is right there. It looks pretty good. I'm not going to mess with that too much. So good elbow. I want him to work on his chest extension, getting out. The front knee is going to be a big contributor to that chest. So if you can get that front knee right, his chest is going to come through a lot simpler. Kind of like on this right side, he's really simple. Looks really good. So if we can get his motion like the one on the right consistently, this is probably where his weakness lies, in that front knee. So chest extension, no high elbow, you're good. And I want to work on this arm fly out. So his arm's completely laid back, so somewhere in there. And as he goes out is about 72 degrees. So what that means is, instead of going through, he's going around that elbow to drive the ball through. What I'd like to do is reduce that just a tad, about 20, 27, 30 degrees, down to about 40 degrees. What that's going to do is it's going to put his wrist in line to be quicker through the ball, to be able to rotate through. He's going to have more acceleration out of his arm, and he's going to be able to control that ball a little bit better. So that is it. So I really think his weakness is not driving far enough with his front leg. His front knee's internally rotated. He's got to stay back and stack more in that direction. Okay, so his head needs to stay over that rubber for a longer period of time. His hand separates too early out of his glove, which kind of leaves him where his arm is flying out instead of driving forward. If he just held onto the ball for a little bit longer, he'd be able to push that through and extend for a longer period of time past his front foot. His chest extension is affected by that as well. And so all of that put together, it's 4 or 5 things. If we work on one at a time and we improve, we should see around 5 miles an hour in a year. And with the bands and balls, I mean, we can get quite a bit of velocity if he can work on that consistently. Thanks for being a part of 212 Athlete, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.